What it do? Welcome to the J-Boy Sports Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you don't love the content, you can still do those things because you could always help a brother out because you know a brother would always help you out. Make sure that you comment so we can have conversations in the comment section. I will definitely reply because ball is life. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our glorious content. And lastly, hang on towards the end of this video because we have some other suggested videos that we know you'll love. With that said, let's jump right into this. So, MJ stole moves too, guys. All right. Now, this is not to take a shot necessarily at Michael Jordan, but the reason that I'm saying this is because everybody always is bagging on Kobe Bryant. Kobe was just Mike. Kobe was just Mike. Kobe was just Mike. That's not true. Kobe Bryant was his own player. Now, did a lot of things he did, did a lot of things that he did look like Mike in some instances? Yes. They do the side-by-side montage, and you can find some things. But you can also find some things from SGA looking like Kobe. If you're a great player, usually you don't just become a great player because you don't watch anybody else. There's some that I think have their complete own style where they're not taking anything from anybody. One that would come to mind is Shaq, Giannis, LeBron, Russ, Westbrook, because Derrick Rose maybe even, because these are like usually elite athletes, people that are like crazy athletic and are not super skilled most of the time, in my opinion. They have their own style because it's only manipulated by their physical abilities. You know what I mean? You could practice all you want. You're never going to be Giannis. You're never going to be 7 feet tall, moving like a gazelle like that, with crazy shoulders when you were once really skinny. Like, you're not going to be that. What Dwight Howard was at one point in time, you're not going to be that. That's a freak of nature. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are freaks. Like, you're not just going to be that. However, most players have to gain a level of skill, and the way that you do that is by watching other great players. So this idea that, you know, only Kobe Bryant stole things from people makes me sick, and it drives me nuts. But also, it's a lie because Kobe stole from everybody. You understand? But also, you have to realize that Michael Jordan was stealing things from people too. It's only smart. So, what you originally realize about Michael Jordan, if you've never watched Dr. J play, then you I don't know why you haven't, to be honest. I don't know how you can consider yourself a basketball fan if you've never seen highlights or videos of Dr. J. I mean, he was amazing in his time. But if you watch highlights and videos of him, you realize that Michael Jordan was not the first person flying through the air like that. It was Dr. J was one of the original high flyers. He rocked a cradle over a guy's head in a game on a fast break, just rocked it over his head. That's crazy. Dudes still can't do that now. And we talk about, forget about the 90s. That was like in the 70s, wasn't it? Or the 80s. The 80s started in the 70s, but he was in the 80s rocking the cradle over people. Like, come on, man. How do you think Mike got so athletic? Partly because he was watching dudes like Dr. J just light it up, man. Now, Jerry West is the originator of the jump shot, as far as I've seen. That's why he's the logo. One of the reasons. His jump shot was perfect. Perfect. He was one of the original scorers from the guard positions, and you couldn't stop him. Jerry West was one of the people, especially from the guard position, that was cooking and eating people up. And I would argue that, and if you're an OG and you're listening to this, please correct me. I would think that one of the reasons people didn't think a guard like Michael could win and be so dominant is because Jerry West struggled in the finals. As great as Jerry West was, I think Jerry West is the only player ever to be so good that in a loss, they named him MVP of the finals. He was so good, but he couldn't close out the games. I think he was like 1-9 in finals appearances. All the Celtics wins were them beating Jerry a lot of times, unfortunately. But Jerry was like that, as an individual player, he was definitely like that. Mike took from that. But also, we have a clip here that I'm going to play for you guys that I want you to check out. This is Elvin Hayes, okay? Elvin Hayes. And I'm going to give you a little bit of Elvin Hayes talking to Michael Jordan, and we'll go from there. Let's take a look at him talking to Michael Jordan, and I'll give you a little bit of highlights of him playing so you can get a little grasp of his game. But apparently, that turnaround shot that we like to say Kobe stole from Mike, maybe he did. Maybe Mike perfected it. Mike definitely perfected it, and I'll explain why. But Mike took that from somebody else. So why is it that for some reason we have these narratives on Kobe where we just want to bash Kobe Bryant? Mike was taken from greats too. Check this out.
While an audience of awestruck students from San Marcos High School observed from the sidelines, host Michael Jordan and his guests loosened up for a while out on the court before settling down to discuss Elvin's career. One subject of interest to Michael was Elvin's favorite and most effective offensive weapon.
Elvin, tell me about that classic turnaround jump shot. Now, where did you learn that?
Well, Michael, in order to develop that shot when I was in high school, it was because the guys jumped so high, I had to be able to get my shot off because I wasn't as tall as I am. And so I developed that shot in my backyard. And how I go is that I just kind of turn my back to the guy and take a couple of bounces and always go to the right and just kind of drop it down.
Elvin Hayes, the Big E. Over the years, Elvin's effortless-looking turnaround jump shot foiled and frustrated opposing players. The 6'11", 240-pound Hayes was capable of muscling up shots on the inside or firing away from long range.
So that is Michael Jordan talking to the great Elvin Hayes. Michael Jordan is great in his own right, obviously. But you don't hear Elvin Hayes' name a lot. Elvin Hayes' name a lot. You obviously always hear Michael Jordan. But this is him telling him about his turnaround jump shot. And he's older than Mike. He's older than Mike. So he was playing before Mike. So what do you think that means? That means that Mike took that move from him. Now, how did Mike perfect it? Well, one of the things that Elvin Hayes said is that he always goes right. Obviously, Mike went right and left with it and added new up and unders and spins to it and all kinds of stuff. And then Kobe added to that. Okay? So, I mean, it's a crazy effective shot if you master it. I never really mastered it, and I should have. I wish I would have taken the time to really figure that move out. But I'm telling you, people that can do that move are on another level. You already know that right off the jump. It's dang near unguardable. It's dang near unguardable if you master it. There's nothing people can do. There's nothing people can do. And again, this is Michael telling you how he took somebody else's move. I mean, he's not straight up saying I stole it, but you're hearing him ask somebody else about their move so that, and you obviously know Mike used it. Okay? So again, this idea that Kobe's the only person that takes moves, this is not to denigrate Michael Jordan. This is not to make fun of Mike. Mike is my guy as well. You know, I respect Michael. I won't say Mike is my guy. I respect Michael Jordan a lot, obviously. I respect him a lot because you can't not respect him if you're a huge Kobe Bryant fan. Everything Kobe said it about Mike and he said it about Magic. What you see in me is what I got from them. So you have to respect your elders. You have to. And, you know, Mike was doing the same thing, paying homage to Elvin Hayes. Now, I just want to briefly touch on an article. I shared this article before as far as like how Bleacher Report hates Kobe Bryant, but I did get another gem from this that I wanted to touch back on and touch base on, which is basically that, again, people always say that Kobe steals from Mike and he's exactly Mike. That's not true. Now, many of you may also know that Kobe took a lot of moves from Hakeem Olajuwon as well. He trained with him. But it doesn't just stop there, right? Some of you may also know that he took things from Reggie Miller. Let me go back to this article, though, real quickly, and then I want to read this snippet from this Bleacher Report article from the guy that didn't like Kobe because he was a Portland Trailblazer person or whatever, and had to write this article and be honest. right? Because they were trying to say Kobe wasn't the player of the decade and whatever. And Bleacher Report at one point was actually giving Kobe his props until they turned into losers. This is what it says. It says, and I'll link the article in the somewhere so that you guys can see it, probably in the comment section. It brings me the most amazing thing about Kobe Bryant, and one thing that might give him an edge over even Michael Jordan. It's his ability to add more facets to his game each year. Now, obviously, Magic, Michael, Larry, and other great players have all done the same thing before. Jordan famously added a post-up game and three-point range as his career progressed. He worked on his strength and conditioning. He continually improved. We all know these stories. But Kobe has carried this further than any player I've seen. He's not only perfected Jordan's Cobra-like drive and strike, dribbling style, and turnaround fadeaway, which is what we were just talking about, right? He's added Magic's junior skyhook, McHale and Hakeem's up and under move, George Gervin's finger roll. Kobe, early in his career, his finger rolls were so nasty, man. And still, he was doing it in reverse. He had the nastiest baseline reverses and baseline reverse dunks you'll ever see. But especially when he was really athletic and gliding through the air, his finger rolls were nice. And I never thought about it like that. But yeah, everybody does a finger roll. All of y'all, all three of y'all. Y'all are stealing from George Gervin. He's the first person that was doing that. They even said he took, and back to the article, Tim Hardaway's crossover, Tim Duncan's bank shot, Reggie Miller's flailing leg three-point form, and Clyde Drexler's hand-switching spin move. And he seems to be able to do all of these with either hand. So Elvin Hayes was shooting over the right shoulder. Michael Jordan started shooting over both shoulders. Kobe Bryant started shooting over both shoulders, going up and under, flailing the leg out at times, switching on the spin move, George Gervin's finger roll. So, getting back to the article again, Kobe is not afraid to steal moves from anybody, and this is a good thing. When he decided he needed a better post-up game, he asked Hakeem Olajuwon to work with him. Problem solved. Okay? Problem solved. So, what you guys need to realize is that everybody steals moves. That's really the thing you need to understand from watching this video. Everybody steals people's moves. You should. It makes you a better basketball player. What makes you elite is knowing when, how, when and how to use those moves effectively and efficiently, and then also putting your own 2 cents on it. Putting your own 2 cents on it. I'm going to refer to anime again really quickly because it's the perfect way to explain it. If you've never watched anime, watch anime. You could pick Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach, whatever anime you want to watch. And if there's a training montage where the younger person is being trained by the elder statesman, they learn the move, and sometimes they don't even learn it the same way that their master learned it. And Naruto specifically, Naruto's dad, maybe I shouldn't have said that if you've never watched it, but there are people, Naruto's sensei, Jiraiya sensei, taught him this real powerful move called the Rasengan. Rasengan! That was geeky, I'm sorry, but it's fun to say. And with that, Jiraiya could just do it with one hand. He learned it when he was older too, I think. But he could just create chakra. Chakra is like the energy that they use in that series. He could just create the chakra in his hand and creates like this ball, this Rasengan, and he can blast you with it. Now, Naruto couldn't do it that way. He couldn't because you had to figure out you have to mold the chakra and then also add chakra at the same time. So I think you have to spin it and add it at the same time. And he couldn't do that. What he realized that he could do is create what's called a shadow clone. So he basically, what that is you make a copy of yourself. You have to see the show. You'll see it sounds dumb, but if you watch it, they can make copies of themselves, right? That are not as strong as them, that don't last as long, not as durable. You could punch them and they disappear. But they can make copies of themselves. So Naruto will make a copy of himself to create this Rasengan. The one copy was adding the chakra, and that's the one holding the ball. The other one is standing next to his clone of himself is standing next to that person that's creating it, that's adding the chakra to create this attack, and twirling it around so that it can create the Rasengan effect. His sensei could just do it without all that, but Naruto could not. So what ended up happening is that's how he learned how to do it. Now, eventually, he learned how to do it without needing a second clone. Then eventually, he learned how to add nature to it. So he was a wind release person. This all may sound really stupid, but just bear with me. If you never watched anime, maybe it's hard, but I'm trying to make this make sense. Eventually, he was able to add an element to it. Now, the elements are wind, lightning, fire, and water, right? If you ever seen Pokemon, it's like that too. But he was a wind user, so he started adding wind to that attack. Then he could throw it, right? Nobody else was throwing theirs. Even his sensei, he didn't throw it. Naruto could throw his at a certain point. So it was like a heat-seeking orb that was like following you around and blowing you apart. Okay? So I say all that to say, the moral of that is that you learn these things and then you take it to the next level if you're truly great. But you're going to steal from those that were before you. But the idea is you have to pay homage to those people, respect those people, and know that you didn't just come up with the game of basketball or all these moves yesterday. You use somebody else to help influence you to get to that point. Every human being has learned something from another one. So when we sit up here and we do this thing where it's a knock on guys that they're using this person's move, we got to cut it out. Michael Jordan is widely known as the greatest player of all time. Even he was a thief. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you respect your elders like he's doing in that video. He was respecting Elvin Hayes. He's asking him how he did the move. He gets his blessing. That's how it's supposed to be. That's why you respect your elders. That's why even me, I'm not in love with Bill Russell like that, or Will Chamberlain, or any of those guys. I love Jerry West because he was a Laker. Love Magic Johnson because he was a Laker. Even though Magic's way younger than West and them, and Wilt and those guys, Russell. But you have to pay homage to them because they made the way. So just this video, there's a lot of lessons that can be learned from this video. Number one is everybody takes moves. Stop hating on Kobe Bryant because he took people's moves and Jordan's move. He took everybody's moves. Jordan takes people's moves. Everybody takes people's moves. And the second thing you want to realize is pay homage to the older generation because a lot of the things you see now are because people expanded upon what they learned from those guys. So be respectful, be humble, okay? Thank you very much for watching this video. We're going to end it right there. Please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you comment so we can have conversations in the comment section. What do you think? Does everybody steal moves? And do we need to pay homage because nothing is new under the sun? We're just recycling and maybe even improving upon what somebody else did first. But you can't improve. Excuse me. You cannot improve upon something if you don't have any knowledge of it or if you've never seen it before. So do we need to pay homage? Okay. And does everybody steal as far as moves, not things and items? Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our glorious content. Hang on towards the end of this video so you can catch some of our suggested videos. Thank you very much for your time. I truly appreciate you. I'm very happy that you were able to listen and very thankful that you listened this long. Very appreciative once again. Very humble. Much love. That somehow you never get over me.